What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today is Expanded Thursday. Today we're gonna go over the last deck that I'm considering for the St. Louis regionals coming up this weekend. Now, the first deck I'm considering is the Mega Rayquaza. We saw that in the tournament. Next up was the Rayquaza, and then finally is the Yveltal Archeops Maxie's deck. Yveltal Maxie's Oranguru. I'm not sure you want to say his name. Oranguru. That's what I'm going to say right now. Should have looked it up because I know people are going to hate me because I didn't say it correctly for some reason. But the other two decks I was considering was Tobats and Toad Decidueye. Toad Decidueye, I do not think it's a good deck. You saw me play it at LC. It just doesn't do enough damage. That's a problem. You don't have lasers. You don't have Silent Light. You can't shut stuff down. So it's not very good. You have to play Forest of Giant Plants. I don't care if you're playing both. It's still not good. I don't think it's that good. Tobats, it's still good. Don't get me wrong. But Turn Archeops, woo! If your opponent gets a Turn Archeops, you're pretty done for. But if you are gonna play some kind of Toad variant, definitely playing the Tobats is the strongest one for this weekend coming up for St. Louis. I'm 100% sure on that one. So just some Toad Decidueye might make cut. Don't get me wrong. It is a good deck, but in the end, it wouldn't. I'm putting it right now, it is not going to win regionals. I'll bet people money that. But Toad Decidueye, it's good, don't get me wrong. Like I said, Tobats is 100% better. With the free treat, the super scoop ups, that's what makes Toad so strong, is super scoop ups. But today, we don't care about any of that stuff. We are looking at the Yveltal Maxie's deck. Now, this deck is based off of Mark Garcia's, who did win San Jose Regionals. And if you look at San Jose Regionals, it actually, Yveltal Maxie's made 4 out of, no, hold on, 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4 out of the top 8 were Yveltal Maxie's. Second place was Greninja Break. In top 4, we had Zygarde Carbink with Sam Chin, another was Sableye Garbodor, and another Turbo Darkrai. Now, this deck does have answers for all those decks, and that's why it did win overall in the top 8. Alright, but let's go over this deck. Let's see why it's so strong. I mean, we know what a lot of these cards do already, but we're going to make sure we know together and see why is this a strong consideration for this weekend coming up. So you have multiple different attackers. You have Yveltal-EX with Evolve Y Cyclone. You have Fright Knight, which is probably your better attacker. Fright Knight is just so good shutting down tools. And Pitch Black Spear hitting 60 and 62 a Pokemon EX is fantastic, okay? One Sableye, which is going to help you out against the Sableye Garbodor matchup because you can junk hunt for 82 cards out of your discard pile. And you keep recycling cards where your opponent's trying to deck you out and you just keep junk hunting. Put it back in your hand, set up a giant Yveltal, and just start knocking out Sableyes over and over again. You have one Darkrai with the free treat. You could play the other one, the Breakpoint one, with the Dark Pulse, but this one's so much better. The free treat is just like amazing. One Shaymin, one Oranguru. We'll go over the Oranguru here in a second. One Shaymin, of course, helps you have 6 cards in your hand. One Jirachi for any supporter card. Play it down. You most likely get it for a Ghetsis or Maxie's turn 1, depending on the situation. It's really, really good. So we play one Archeops, which each player can't play any Pokemon from his or her hand to evolve their Pokemon, which stops, like, you know, Dartrix, Electrix, Zubats, or not Zubats, Golbats, and any Pokemon that evolve, you can't do it. You can't rare candy. The only way around it is using Evosoda, Wally, or Hex Maniac shut down Archeops, and then you can evolve that way. And the next strongest card is going to be Gallade with the Premonition. Premonition lets you rearrange the top 5 cards of your deck and put them back on top of your deck in any order. Or look at top 5, rearrange them, put them on top of your deck. And then its Sensitive Blade, it does 60 and 70 more damage. Now, this is really good attack because it does 130 times 2, 260, which knocks out those fighting weak Pokemon like the Darkrai deck. With Gallade, you just give Gallade. They really can't one-shot your Gallade. It has 150 HP. Unless I play Mew or Mew-EX, either one can copy the Darkrai's attacks and hit you because you are weak to Psychic. So that's not always another consideration when playing this deck, is you have to worry about Psychic Pokemon. But the reason why Oranguru is in here is when you Premonition, you can look at top 5 cards of your deck and rearrange them, and then you can use Oranguru to draw. You have 3 cards in your hand. Now you might be saying, 3 cards in your hand? That's how do you play down to 3? And you'll see in the video it's pretty easily. With Dark Patches, Trainers Mail Ultra Ball, you can easily get your hand down to 0. Use the Oranguru to hit the cards you want. With Gallade, it's a perfect partner. It's really, really good. Make sure you check out this video to see the deck in action. But let's go over everything else. 3 battle compressors to discard Archeops, Gallade, Dark Energy, supporter cards, whatever you need. 1 Computer Search for consistency, 4 Dark Patches to get a Dark Energy out of your discard pile to one of your bench Dark Pokemon, which can go on your Darkrai, Sableye, Yveltal, and your Yveltal-EX. 4 Trainers Mail, 4 Ultra Ball, 4 VS Seeker. We need to be super consistent to try to get this turn 1 Maxies off. That is the plan. 1 Parallel City and 1 Reverse Valley. With Parallel City, you can put yourself down to 3 to make sure you have the perfect 3 Pokemon out, which is probably like Gallade, Oranguru, and some kind of dark Pokemon like Yveltal, Fright Night, whatever. And then later on, you can have like a, because Parallel City, you discard your Shaymins and Jirachi, which is really good. 1 Reverse Valley. I'm actually thinking about cutting a Parallel City for a second Reverse Valley, so that way we don't put ourselves down to 3 a lot and then have us stuck, because once it's stuck, it's hard to get down to the Yveltal or something. Beforehand, it was fine because you weren't playing Oranguru and you were just discarding Shaymins and Jirachis, but now you really need this monster. It's really good. So Reverse Valley, you do 10 more damage, and here's all the supporter cards. 1 AZ to return 1 Pokemon to your hand. 1 Delinquent to discard a statement card to play. If you do, your opponent discards 3 cards from your hand. So this way, we're going to get around our own Parallel City and put our opponent down to 0 if it comes up that way. Ghetsis turn 1 is broken. Your opponent reveals their hand and shuffles all item cards found there into their deck. Then you draw that number of cards equal to the number of cards you shuffled in there. Which, if you notice, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 item cards. Just looking at us right now, and that's, not counting the 4 ofs and everything like that. So turn 1 Ghetsis can shut down your opponent if they have like a Battle Compressor plus a VS Seeker. 1 Lysandre, which I don't like too much. I love always 2 Lysandre, but it's hard to fit in this deck. 2 Maxies, which is needed because you don't want to prize 1. If you notice, we played 2 Maxies and 2 Gallade because it is that important in this deck. 3 Juniper, which might be saying 3, you're crazy. But it's fine. You have Gallade, you have 4 VS Seekers, you have Oranguru. You're going to be set up. You really don't need. You sometimes don't even need 3 Junipers. 2 Fighting Freebells give your Yveltals or whoever 40 more HP and do 10 more damage. So with Fighting Freebell and a Reverse Valley, you do an extra 20 damage, which is really nice. 1 Float Stone, which usually goes on Gallade or Oranguru. It depends on when it comes out of your deck. 4 DEC and 7 Dark Energy, and that's going to be the Maxie's Yveltal deck. It's really strong. You're going to see 2 good games with this deck. I think it's really good play for regionals coming up. But like I said, my 3 decks considering coming up for regionals is Raikou, Mega Quasar, and this deck. All 3 have great matchups across the board. Against Mega Quasar, you get to turn Archeops against both of those. You kind of shut them down, but then Mega Quasar plays like a Hex Maniac, and then you can one-shot them pretty easily. But then you have to worry about Fright Night. Oh man, that's a weird matchup. Raikou versus this. This deck has Archeops again, but a lot of the Raikou decks play like Hex Maniacs, and they play Evosodas to get around that. Sam Chid did in his regionals list. So there's a lot of different things that you can play going into his regionals. There's hardly a wrong deck to pick. So don't, if you get a deck already for regionals, make sure you stick with it. It's 2 days away, so just make sure you stick with whatever. If you're still undecided, then maybe one of these 3 decks are probably the ones to play. There's a ton of other decks as well. But guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day, and let's see this deck in action. Alright, so up against Felix playing, it looks like a Darkrai Giratina deck. I mean, that's Dark, Dragon, Water. So in this matchup, we need to get Gallade out. If we get Gallade out, we have a pretty, amazing matchup, because Gallade can just one-shot the Darkrai, because we hit for weakness. Alright, so there's a Fright Night Yveltal, Computer Search. So we essentially have the turn 1. Like, if we don't hit the turn 1 here, it'd be pretty crazy if we don't. Alright, so we can start. Let's see, Darkrai, or we're going to start Yveltal. I'm going to start Yveltal, okay? Alrighty, so, yeah, we'll press done, okay? Let's see, there is a Malamar, alright, so we can Computer Search, discard a AZ and an N, okay? So first off, let's Battle Compressor, let's see what's in our deck. We'll discard the Gallade, we'll discard a Dark Energy. And the only thing I don't like about this hand is we have... Ooh, there's no Jirachi either. Okay, Jirachi's prize, but we can Computer Search for the Maxie, so that's not a problem. We're going to have to Shaymin for 0 cards, which is unfortunate. There's pretty much no way around it. So I'm going to discard those 2 and a Juniper. Okay. I'm going to put down the Darkrai Dark Patch to the Darkrai. We will Computer Search, discard 1 and 2 for a Maxie's. Put Shaymin, set up for 0 new cards. So let's grab that Maxie's. Okay, so grab the Maxie's, put down Shaymin. We will say no thank you, and we will Maxie's for a Gallade. So a turn 1 Gallade is coming down. There we go, that's fantastic. If there's a DCE, we can Ultra Ball. Discard the Trainers Mail and the Lysandre. With this, we'll grab Oranguru. Alright, we'll put down Oranguru. We will put a DC on the active. Yeah, we'll put a DC on the active. Put down Parallel City. We'll put our side down to 3 to discard the Shaymin. Okay. So, we'll discard the Shaymin. We'll use Gallade to rearrange top 5 cards of our deck. We'll put, let's see. We'll put Juniper Dark. The next card's kind of weird. Because we can't put any more cards down. Let's see, do we have another? Okay, so we have an N, so this is fine. So what I'm going to do is grab this via Seeker, and the rest doesn't matter. Okay. We will use Instruct to draw 3 cards. And we will via Seeker for an N, just in case our opponent gets somehow gets a Trevenant or something out. So grab that, we'll press done onto our opponent's turn. That was a pretty solid turn 1. The only downside is the reverse Valley out. We need to get our Shadow Circle, or he needs to bump our Stadium, or a Delinquent. But next we have a Pitch Black Spirit coming off if he doesn't play Enhanced Tamer. Alright, so you can see how good the deck is. So there's an Yveltal coming down the field, okay. There's a Max Elixir to the Yveltal. Now, the key thing about Yveltal the X spot is he can't use cards like Float Stone. He has to find a Darkrai to retreat that Malamar. And if he's attached to the Malamar, he's probably not attacking with the Yveltal, so there's an energy goes to Malamar. Alright, so we go Night-Night. Tails, okay, and onto our turn, we do not wake up, which is very unfortunate. So we'll put a Dark Energy in the active. And do we play in or not? He didn't really do anything, so I'm going to Dark Energy active. I'm going to Gallade. No, I'm going to end still. I think I'm going to get new hands. What the heck? Alright, that was a glitch. I definitely ended my turn into. So, okay, alright, that was very strange. So DC active, we'll see a Maximar this turn. Okay. That was really strange. So Professor Birch's observation, going to shuffle. Tails only get 4 cards. Why did my turn in? I don't know. So Darkrai coming out, but the Dark Pulse 1, which is good for us. Glade can just knock that out pretty easily. We find a DCE. And there's a Maximar. Heads, and heads. Very nice, sir. I applaud you. Wow. Okay. All right. Cool beans. So we'll set up Darkrai. That's good for us, right? All right. So on our turn, we find a Juniper. So put down a Yveltal. Play a Dark Patch, the Yveltal. And we can Gallade right now to arrange 1 card at the top of our deck. Or we can Juniper first, then arrange. I think I'm going to Juniper first, then play our hand down, and then maybe go for a DCE. Alright, so we can Ultra Ball, discard 1 and 2. To grab nothing. We can Dark Patch to the Yveltal. Okay. We will Trainers Mail. We'll grab nothing. And then we will Premonition to see if we can put a DC on top of the deck. If we can use a Oranguru. And there's a DCE. Wow. Alright, so put the DCE. We'll put a Battle Compressor to thin our deck out some more. And those are fine. And we will, we'll draw 1 card with the Oranguru, hitting the DCE. And we will take a knockout. Doing like a ton of damage with this Gallade. I'm pretty sure just one-shotting it is weak to fighting. So send it to Gallade. And let's use Sensitive Blade for the knockout. Alrighty. There we go. Doing 260. We'll take 2 new prize cards. There's a Yveltal and a Dark Energy. Alright, so in our opponent's turn, he'll probably send his Yveltal. But the Yveltal is right now do 20, 40, 60, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The max it can do is 120. There's a DCCD active. And there's an Evolve for 120. Alright, so on to our turn, we'll chop deck the Battle Compressor. Okay, so Compressor, discard 3 cards out of our deck. We don't need the Sableye, we don't need the Archeops, and we don't need the other Battle Compressor either. Okay. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We do 160 right now. So I'm gonna Juniper. If we find a Dark Patch and a DC, we can take a knockout on this Yveltal. Alright, there's a DC. So we can DC this guy. Fury Belt. Trainers Mail. We'll grab a Float Stone. Yeah, like this is just going fantastic. We'll put a Float Stone on the active. We will retreat to the Yveltal. We'll premonition, look at top five cards of our deck. We'll put another VS on top of the deck. Oh, put another Fear Belt on top. That's fine. It doesn't really matter. We have pretty much everything in our hand right now. And we'll Evolve for the knockouts, doing 170 exactly. Alrighty, so we're going to have 2 price cards. I mean, next time we're going to knock out the Darkrai pretty easily with our Gallade. There's Gallade and Reverse Valley coming into our hand. And unless my opponent somehow knocks out our Gallade, then we don't have the answer immediately. Search Ultra Ball, discarding a Zoroark Break and a double Dragon Energy. Okay. But you can see how the deck does work. Like, you have Gallade, you have Oranguru. You can switch between attackers pretty easily with Dark Cloak. We only have 3 bench spots, and there's a pass onto our turn, so we'll via Seeker for anything. Doesn't really matter. We'll grab an AZ. Sure, we'll pick up AZ. We'll pick up the Oranguru. We'll retreat to Gallade, and we'll Sensitive Blade for the knockout because we activated the Sensitive Blade attack. No, we don't need a premonition. And there we go. I mean, I know this deck wasn't like we didn't play against something really serious, but still showing the power of the deck off is pretty amazing. And you can see why this deck is so strong with the Oranguru. Yeah, it's just a really good deck. We get a turn 1 Gallade, which does happen like a lot. It's pretty easy to do with this deck. You have the 1 Sableye, I mean not 1 Sableye, you have the 1 Shaymin plus the 1 Jirachi, Computer Search, Ultra Ball, Battle Press. There's just so much to get with this deck to help you get that turn 1 Gallade. But we'll see one more game with the deck here in a second. Hopefully it's another victory. Like I said, this deck is really broken right now. Alright, we'll see what happens in the next game. Alright, so we're gonna get Shadow Tarot playing a Lightning deck. Spicy. A Lightning, Grass, Psychic, or something else. So it must be some kind of Vespa Queen deck. So Tails. We lost Coin Flip. But if we get a turn with Archeops, things are looking fine and dandy for us. Okay. Oh, if that was a Pokemon, we'd have a turn 1 for sure. Like when you start turn 1 Computer Search with Battle Compressor, you got the turn 1. Like, okay. Holy moly. Okay. Alright. So this hand is terrible. Okay. And let's see. What does... Oh my goodness. Please end us. So 2 Pokemon come down. There's a Pumpkaboo and an Unknown. Alright. So put this down. We will Lysandre of the Unknown. And we will just pass. Huh. Alright, so they're playing a Night March deck. How do we take down the Night March deck? Hold on, Fuzzy. There we go. With Night March, we have Gallade. We can swing with Baby Yveltal. You could maybe play the Oblivion Wing Yveltal and give you a better matchup. But, I don't know. Night March is... That's a Litwick. What? This is not Night March? Is this a Gourgeist deck? Huh. Alright, so let's see. I'm not sure. I thought it was like a Vespa Queen and Night March deck, but Litwick. Okay, there's a Joltik. I mean, it looks like Night March, but what's the Litwick for? Like, is he really evolving to Chandelure? Okay. Okay. Uh-huh. There's a Lampet. Okay, yeah, I mean... Super Rod shove the Litwick back into the deck? Okay. Uh-huh. I'm so confused as to what's going on. So, switch. Okay. It's a cool looking switch. Switch to Pumpkaboo. There's a Shaymin setting up for 4. Okay. I'm so confused right now, guys. My brain is hurting. There's a Vespa Queen. What is going on right now, guys? I need your help. So another Pumpkaboo comes down. And a pass onto our turn. Alrighty, so we find an Ultra Ball. I can Ultra Ball, discard 1 and 2 for a Jirachi and grab an N. Yep, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna grab Jirachi Put that down. We could go for Ghetsis, but I imagine if he has a bunch of item cards in his hands, he would have played it. So I'm going to grab it in, because I don't want to discard all these Dark Patches and VS Seekers and all that good stuff. So play it in, hoping to hit a DCE. Alright, so that's not a DCE, so Compressor. With the Compressor, we will discard Archeops, Gallade, and a Maxie, maybe. Do we have any Dark Energies on discard pile? We do not. I think that's still fine. Okay. We'll put down Trainers Mail. Looking for an Ultra Ball. Okay, we find a Ghetsis for next turn. We'll put down Yveltal, Dark Energy, and we'll pass. We could have put a Dark Energy Yveltal, but if he knocks us out this turn, it's pretty much useless. We could Delinquent him next turn as well. So there's a DCT active. Right now, Night March is not doing anything. There's a Compressor, so I could do 60 max right now. Okay, so two Jolts and a Lampent. There's a Vespiquen coming down. Okay. Sycamore, discard his hand, draw 7 cards. Alrighty, so right now he's doing 20, 40, 60, 80. I mean, I guess this really wouldn't have any difference. So there's an Acrobite, look at the top 2 cards of his deck. No, we end him to a new hand, duh, that's why. So 3, 4, 5, so 100. There's a Muscle Band, that guy, okay. And a Night March for 100 damage. Alrighty, so on to our turn, we find a VS Seeker, okay. We could get this, we can Delinquent, but I'm going to VS Seeker for N. We'll need to find a DC to start getting some damage on the board, so play N, okay. Alrighty, so we will Fury Belt, Float Stone. I know it doesn't work. Shaymin for 4. I'm just trying to dig for a DCE this turn. Come on down, DCE, and we find one. Alright, so put down Yveltal. Put down Oranguru as well. Put a DC on this guy, and we will pitch Black Spear doing 120 and 60 to a Shaymin. Alrighty, so 120 damage. We'll go down to 5 prize cards. We get a Computer Search. What I'm trying to do next turn is White Cyclone to knock out whatever power up this Yveltal. That's really good. There's a DCT active. Right now he's doing a good bit of damage. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's an Unknown coming down as well. There's a Feral Letter. Okay. What's going to help us is that Shaymin having that 60 damage late game, because we can't snipe it with another Fright Night, which is my plan, which is going to be my plan eventually. So is he Acrobite with the top 2 cards of his deck? Okay. Discards a Forest of Giant Plants. All right. Does he have a Lysandre? There's Professor Kukui. Okay. Right now 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's doing 110. There's a B Revenge for 130. Sorry. The Muscle Band. Did I do math wrong? I'm not sure. Alright, he goes out of 5. We'll send him the Yveltal. We'll Computer Search for a DCE. Alright, so Computer Search, discard the Ghetsis and the Ultra Ball for a DCE. There we go. We will DC the active and end our opponent down to 5. With this, I'm looking for another Fright Night. I'm not sure if it was in the deck. I didn't really look. And there it is. Alright, so we'll put down the Fright Night. And we will Y Cyclone. Okay, we'll do 100 damage. Move a DCE from this guy to the bench Yveltal. Okay. So go down to 4 price cards. We get a Trainers Mail. Alright. So next time what we could do is Dark Energy this guy, hit a Shaymin for knockout going out of 2, and then maybe use this Yveltal to knock out the last Shaymin. So Pumpkin comes up, which is great. We can knock that out with the Fright Night and the Shaymin to go down to 1 prize card. There's a DCT active. Ultra Ball. Let's see. 3, 4, 5, 6. He's doing 120. We have 210 HP. Okay. And also what we can do is just easy pick up the Yveltal and heal all that damage off, which is fantastic. Okay. I still don't know why he's playing Litwick. He's played 2 of them. 2 Lampics. Does he play? I'm really curious if he plays Chandelure. So we'll see a Pumpkin going to his hand. Pumpkin come down the field. And what else does our opponent have here? So Lysandre, bring up a Shaymin. Alright, so it goes down to 3 price cards, okay? But this is actually fine to me. I don't care about this, because what we can do now is knock out the Pumpkaboo and Shaymin without discarding our Dark Energy. I mean, yeah, without having to discard a Dark Energy. So Yveltal comes up onto our turn, hopefully find a Dark Patch. Okay, so there's a Dark Patch. We will Dark Patch the Yveltal. Okay. We'll put a Dark Energy in the active. We'll put down Darkrai to get Pokemon free retreat. And we're gonna AZ up the Jirachi just to get out of our off the field. I don't think we used the Oranguru at all this game either. So Pitch Black Spear, I think we could have, but we never did. So doing 120 and 60 to the Shaymin, we'll go down to 1 price card. Sorry, so there's 1 for the Pumpkaboo. There's Yveltal going to our hand. And we'll get 2 more cards. There's 1, there's 2. I mean, you gotta think we have this in the bag. Like, my opponent has 3 prize cards left. He can Night March, maybe knock out this guy, but Yveltal-EX can just hit it for a ton of damage because weakness. Anybody can knock it out. So Unknown coming down. So if you Lysandre somebody, we can pretty much knock it out. His only plan is maybe to Lysandre this guy, Enhanced Hammer this, and win the game. But nope, there's a Sycamore. Discard his hand, draw 7 cards, and we will take down the Night March deck. I'm kind of curious why he plays Litwick. I mean, does he really want to attack with Lampent? I don't know. But there you go, guys. You saw we saw this deck played 2 different times. Once getting the Maxies off. This one, not so much, but still really didn't need it. There's a Lysandre going to his hand. I guess he doesn't know that we have won the game. Because we can just E-Ball for the knockouts. So we'll see Unknown, Pharaoh Letter. Even puts down a weakness policy. We still knock it out. Combi coming down. Okay. His only plan is to retreat to Shaymin, and we maybe don't win automatically, but then we have Yveltal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which hits for 110. So even if he retreats to Shaymin, we still win the game. So Night March for the knockout, going down to 2 prize cards. Close, but not close enough to go down to 2. We'll set up Yveltal, we'll put a DC in the active, and this is why Fright Night is so strong. Put a DC in the active, and there's a victory. I don't know, I guess my opponent maybe thought we'd send the wrong Pokemon or something, but you can see why Fright Night is so strong. It does help you out in so many matchups. You can snipe those Shaymins against these non-EX decks, and kind of take your wins that way. Fright Night is probably the strongest Pokemon in this deck. It's a spread with the Dark Patch plus DCs. It's really good. With the Maxies, you got answers to pretty much everything. But guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Get ready for regionals this weekend. It should be a lot of fun. Pokemon is commentating it, so it should be a lot of fun. Hopefully we make it on a stream. Hopefully we make Hunt this time. Please, Pokemon, let me make up. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day. Alrighty, bye. Alright guys, I just want to give a quick shout out to our 3 sponsors, 60 Cards, Yeti Gaming, and the Pokemon Company International. Links to everything will be down below in the description. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Alrighty.